Hello, everyone. Hlabi here with a quality correction. In the following episode, you will hear us continuously refer to a character named Grace. We misnamed Annie as Grace. So every time you hear us say the name Grace, we're actually talking about Annie, who was Smokes' lover and the love of his life. Fancy. So, yes, every time you hear us say Grace, we are actually talking about Annie. Lord help us. Enjoy the episode. All right, let me know when you're ready to go.
Shall I count us in? Okay. Ready?
Hi.
How you doing, my Hlabi?
Why are you shaking your head? It's true.
Hello.
Before we dive in, now I'm ready. Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome to a special episode of Quality Control. This is what we're calling a quality check. Yes, I decided that name all by myself without consulting my co-host. Hello, Fee. How you doing?
What?
Quality check. A quality check. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
It's
pretty
on the
fucking
level.
good. Yeah. 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 How are you doing?
I
Come,
this
come, chop, chop.
particular episode might be a bit off the rails. It's far too early in the morning for us to be doing this.
It's far
And
too
I'm
early
in
in the
a
morning for
weird,
you
I am
night
in a
owl.
weird, yes, it is, yes. But I'm in a weird mood, so I am looking forward to the bullshit that's going to come out of my mouth today.
Aware. Aware. Quick little before I get into what we're doing
Okay.
today. It turns out that I'm like a every time person. I was always like, oh, I'm a night person. I'm a night person. I've got so much energy in the mornings that I've never really clocked until someone else clocked. I was like, dude, you're a morning person. I was like, no, I'm not. I do things all at night. Yeah. She's like, yeah, you're a night person too. You're an all the day person. I was like, oh fuck. Because yes, I'll sleep late, but I think like our friend Nikki can also attest to like when she was visiting me in Japan, how I'd wake up late in the morning, just have so much energy, and I'd be out the house, like, bah, 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 and I just run out. Like I'm not lethargic. I don't need once I'm up, I'm up. I'm not lethargic, and I don't need coffee to wake up, etc. I never have coffee, and all that. So turns out, seems like I'm a all the time person.
Disgusting behavior.
Okay, today we are covering the fantastic, the great Ryan Coogler's Sinners. Hey yo, we're jumping on the trend train, real talk, unashamedly so, because this movie needs to be spoken about, and we're gonna do that for you as well, also right now. Fee, let's jump straight into it. Housekeeping overview. Do your thing.
Knock, knock. It's housekeeping time. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Please do give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. All four rather, have the same username at Quality Control Pod. So at Quality CNTRL Pod. And if you would like to get in touch with us, if you want to, if you're burning to talk about a South African series and you'd like to join us as well, drop us an email at qualitycontrol.podcast11@gmail.com. Once more, qualitycontrol.podcast11@gmail.com. And finally, I'd just like to request that if you are listening to us and you are enjoying our content, please give us a little rate on Spotify. And if you're on YouTube, hi, please give us a little like and a subscribe. You don't have to give us a like. We can get by with a little subscribey scribe. Drop us a comment as well. We'd really appreciate that. Additionally, please note that this is an adult podcast. We are very, very emphatic people, which means we swear quite often. So parental guidance is advised for younger listeners. We are also definitely going to spoil a lot of the film that we're covering today, which is, as Claudia said, Sinners. So if you haven't watched it, and you're not a person that enjoys spoilers, pause us right here, go watch the movie, come back when you're done.
Did you
And that's it for our
freeze?
housekeeping.
Oh, you monster. Fuck. I was like, is she frozen? Jesus.
No, I'm just weird.
They must also like us on YouTube. Forget what she said. Like and subscribe. We can't get by with just to subscribe. Please. Like also.
Yeah, yeah.
Fear. I'm so annoyed with you this morning. Because of what you've made me do for the quality of a video, which is good, but also no. Yeah. All right. Overview, Fear. Overview. Come now. Gosh. Are you downing tea?
Hlabi doesn't need his coffee in the morning, but I do. Please note that the tiny size of my cup, this is not a teacup for me. This is a
Oh.
coffee mug.
Oh. Yeah, I don't really drink
Just
coffee.
too small. My teacups are usually the size of my face. Anyway,
That's
spinners.
true.
All right. Hlabi, I went the bare minimum with this overview because otherwise I would have just talked about everything. So if you feel like this overview is lacking, I'm really sorry, but like, you know how I struggle, guys. So, Ryan Coogler's Spinners 2025. Twin gangsters, Smoke and Stack, return to their Louisiana hometown in the hopes of setting up a juke joint. They recruit old friends, including their musically talented cousin, Preacher Boy, and they open the doors, letting in old flames and old spirits. Their efforts attract the attention of a vampire who turns the sanctity of the juke joint on its head. A massacre ensues, leaving only one survivor, Preacher Boy.
Great overview. Can I just jump in? I reflected this at the time. Preacher Boy, the way it's the way it's used in the film, the way he introduces himself, the way he carries himself, such a cool nickname. Just like he just runs with Preacher Boy. When he introduces himself to I forgot her name now, the lady he likes and makes the sex with a little later, he's like, I'm Preacher Boy with that deep ass, cool ass voice, Preacher Boy.
Oh
And
my
yeah,
god, that actor's
gosh.
voice.
And his
Also, I
singing,
love the fact that the actor is named Miles.
right?
Like
Right?
in a movie about the blues, the actor's
Right?
name is Miles.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just
so
damn.
good. So
Um,
good.
and the music in this movie, fuck. But let's get into it. You have a question for us, yes? Why are we doing this special episode?
Yes. Yes. Tell me why we are disrupting our plans to do this very special pod.
So we're gonna do this every once in a while, where there's something that we want to sort of instantly react to. I think it was an impetus. Last. Oh, am I fucking up a cable? I am. Oh Lord, hold on. The last video had issues. Well, our second Sinners episode had issues with my mic. So let me just fix that. And I think it was like cable things when I was touching the cable, and then so there's probably gonna be a bunch of kulu 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 right now. Yeah. Okay. What was I
Right.
saying?
You were saying we might do this once in a while
Right,
when
where there's
something great
something
pops up.
or not necessarily great, I don't think. I think that piques our interest. Sometimes it might be something that we watch that's like horribly bad, and you're like, "Oh my god, we need to do this thing right now." I think just on a practicality level, I think it'll keep us relevant, in terms of current times of like things that are happening right now. Because a lot of the stuff we've covered, arcane aside initially, it's like past tense stuff that has happened that we kind of haven't seen much discourse with the stuff we follow and whatnot. So let's talk about it. But yeah, so we're tentatively calling these quality checks. Yeah, I'm gonna check the quality of the thing, and Sinners is our first one. I mean, come on. I don't think we're gonna talk about like the political reaction to it. I think that's going to be put aside because that's just a nonsense, right? It's a black made movie in America. And so a lot of the articles have unflattering headlines, kind of like, oh, it's kind of surprisingly doing well, etc. Like the guy I think I saw an interview, he's amassed 2 billion in movie sales. And he was talking about owning the movie was important to him because he's been making billions for other people. And then even the discourse around the deal he has with Warner Brothers, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, Ryan Coogler got the." And it's like, yeah, that's not new with filmmakers. There are many filmmakers who've bet on themselves. In fact, the studio see that as a bet on the director basically taking a bet on himself. And they're like, look, it's a win-win situation for us as a studio because if it goes to shit, we make all that money back, or we make a portion of the money back. We don't have to pay you as much. And if it does great, you get all that money, we get all that money. Like Scorsese's done it, I'm pretty sure Tarantino's done. Like there's a fuck ton of directors, but we know why it's not a conversation when they do it, and it is a conversation when he does it. That's all I'm going to say on that. I think there's enough discourse on that. What we're going to be doing here is fucking praising and just quickly going into why we think this is dope. Because I think the fact is, there's no hiding it. We think this movie is dope shit. Yeah, so that is why we're doing this special episode for you.
Amazing summary. Amazing summary. Shall we jive? Jive?
Yeah,
All
let's
right, let's
jive.
jive
Let's
right into
jive
our
right
first
into
impression.
it. That's it now. I'm going to be saying that all the fucking time. Feel good. Let's dive into our first impressions, starting with you, madame. Do your thing, Fifi. Fifi. Oh
Oh,
my, oh my god, no, wee. Sorry, little
my first
brain rot there.
impression.
Mm.
Oh my God. That's it. That's the impression. Oh my God.
Yeah, cool. My first impression, incredible, incredible, incredible. I think there's only 2 points that I could have issue with, and those are nitpicks. You know, yeah, those are just legit nitpicks. I'm just gonna say it now. It's like a 9.25 for me on the 10 scale. You know, on a 5 scale, it'd be like 4.75 type shit. You know, like yeah, this movie is damn near perfect. Performances, writing, storytelling, filming, color grading, I almost said orchestra, score, soundtrack, motivations. You know, there's not a lot. It's simple. It's a simple story. And because the story itself is simple, we can dive into complex themes and emotions, communicated through subtext and setting. The fact that it's set to 1932 just it ups so many stakes. 1932's America. So yeah, incredible, incredible, incredible. Yeah, man. What's your second one?
I love that this entire film's plot, mm, mostly about 98% of it, only takes place within 24 hours.
Hmm.
And you're like they went to the one day earlier thing, and I was like, everything that's going to happen is going to happen within 24 hours. And I kept checking in with that knowledge as I was going through the film. Um, I think I've spoken to you about the fact that I no longer really enjoy watching movies because it feels a bit too draining on my emotions. And so I really enjoy a sort of uh, TV format where I know that, like, in 40 minutes, a whole lot's going to happen and that's going to be self contained. And I was just as a me person watching this, I really just enjoyed knowing that there was a time limit on the story itself. Like, all of this, everything that I needed to go through was going to be in a 24-hour period, which is why it felt so dense, but like in a good way, like biting into 80% dark chocolate, just like
Yeah.
rich and full and indulgent, but not like sickening in that way, like a treat.
Yeah.
Um, and the pacing was so beautiful. Like, even though all of this happened in such a short amount of time, you got so much from it. Like you said, the characters were all rounded out for us. They were giving us hints. They weren't over explaining things. And there was a natural pacing to the way that everything unfolded. Oh, it was very satisfying from the word go.
We didn't rush to the scares, to like the scary part. Let's rush to the horror.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think two
Yes.
things about what you just said now. I feel like we've been stuck by like not really enjoying movies. I also, as much as I'm a bit of a cinephile, just a bit, I didn't go to the movies much last year. I think on the one case affordability, but then also there's a podcast I listen to, The Rewatchables, where the producer who sometimes comes on, they call him on to like, did you like this movie, etc. The thing he's been saying of like, where are the 90-minute movies? It's like movies are just too long. And now, granted, this one is 2 hours and 22 minutes. Um, but one, it didn't feel that way. And I think because what aids that and part of that whole 90 minutes thing is this was an original story, right? Wasn't an IP, there was an extended world. And maybe, I don't know, with the succession how studios are, it might become something like that. There might be a sequel. But that's neither here nor there. This is an original story. And so I was enraptured by that. And it was telling a story. And so, like you say, it felt contained. And I think it does a great job. Me feeling like me not really feeling the 2 hours made it such a good job, such a job well done. So I think by and large, for the most part, movies are just too long today. They all seem to have to be high concept or deeply emotional and it's like, bruh, I'm watching Superman punch Lex Luthor. It's fine. It's, that is the concept. I don't need this to be 3 hours. I don't, unfortunately. You know?
Also, like the idea of the blockbuster has changed so much in
Hmm.
the last 10 years, largely because of Disney and Marvel and the way that they put out those like extremely long, quote unquote, blockbuster type action flicks. Like, why is Lex Luthor being punched 2.5 hours?
Right. Yeah. And like
Like
to
we don't need all of that.
one degree, like that was different. That 10 years of Marvel 2008 to 2018 of like adding more depth to these things, etc. That was dope. Then the problem is, like how trends work. Now everyone is trying to do the thing, so now everything becomes oversaturated with that type of storytelling, and you're like, okay, I'm tired now because you just
Mm,
hammered this into me. And I think we've spoken about this before. I do think it's also a thing with like American film and television, right? Like beating a horse until it's dead, and then when it's dead, continually beating it until you can wring out every last cent out of that formula. And so I do think I know people have talked about superhero fatigue like the last 5 years, but I think there's just like gluttony fatigue, if I can say that, in terms of how movies are made,
yes,
right? And that they are
yes, that's a nice
so
way to put that.
heavy and long, you know? And then again, Sinners is just over 2 hours, but because it's not, I feel because it's not IP, and it's not this thing like there's already like lore behind it. No, no, no. It had space to tell me the story, and so I was enraptured by the story, and that didn't make it feel as long. And as much as it was 2 hours, like I think the setting it within 24 hours, like you said, that helped the pacing. If this was taking over a week, right, or like a month of storytelling, I would have felt the 2 hours because days would be changing. You'd have to have like weather changes, a whole bunch of costume changes, right? To show that time has passed and whatnot. I feel like I would have felt that 2 hours because of that. But because it was contained, because it was short, sharp, and quick, yeah, it was, yeah, fucking fantastic.
I think before the market was so saturated with all of these Marvel films, I think earlier when the first Avengers came out, we were having these discussions about movies that were made specifically for the big screen. And honestly, it doesn't feel like a lot of movies are being made for that format. Of course, because we have streaming, because people tend to prefer streaming now. Like, personally, I don't go to the movies anymore. Like, I know you really enjoy it and you make sure that you go every couple of months, weeks, whatever. But I hate it. I need the subtitles, first of all. I've got loads of auditory processing issues. I think I also told you after watching Sinners that the sound in movie theaters is often way too loud and too overwhelming for me. And so I get irritable and it starts to detract. So I prefer, as much as I can, to watch a full length movie in my house where I can, pause that shit, go to the toilet, go make a cup of tea, get a snack, take a break, take a walk if I'm feeling overwhelmed, come back to it.
Yeah.
Um, but there is occasionally a film that is made for cinema. And I'm very glad that I went to go and see Sinners in cinema because not only did they specifically shoot it on film, so you and I had a slightly different viewing experience. You went to see it in IMAX, I went to see it in a regular film, but the film house that I had does have a curved screen, so it's not a flat viewing experience. They also had surround sound, and there were a couple of moments in the film where the characters are off kilter because they're hearing sounds from different sides of their heads. And I was really grateful that I saw that in cinema because on the surround sound, they did that in the cinema. And there's no way that I could have had that experience at home.
Mm.
So I think there's a lot to be said for making a film to be a film, for that theatrical release.
Yeah. I think lastly on that point, I think it's what no matter what you may think of his films and storytelling in general as a whole, I think that's what makes Christopher Nolan such a draw to people because he absolutely refuses to succumb to the sense of, well, I'm a director, I'm a film director. I'm gonna make films to be seen in theater. That'll be the best viewing experience. And that's what I'm gonna do. And I think that's kept him relevant. I think it's what has made his movies so, again, cinematic. He's like, I'm making cinema films for cinema, so go to the movies. Yeah, I think that's a great point. This was filmed on film for theaters. Yeah. Okay, let's quickly move on.
And
Oh yeah,
I wanted to ask you what your experience was because you specifically said, "I'm going to go watch this in IMAX."
yeah.
Why?
Because it was filmed for IMAX. And so they were like, yeah, it's best to see this shit in IMAX. It's like, okay. And I do not regret it. It was incredible. Um, I think my only issue is there's only one film cinema company in SA that has IMAX theaters, and I'm not a fan of that cinema company. Just like in general, there's always a thing. I don't like. I tend to not like my experiences in their theaters. And while this movie was great, I can tell you for a fact the IMAX seats at this theater. I was like, why is this shit so hard? It was just not that comfortable. I didn't like the chairs. I was like, ugh. And I wasn't sitting alone. I was in like a dual seat. And it's just like, now I'm here with the other person. And it's like, oh, we keep every like 30 minutes or so, we need to adjust because our back is hurting because these seats are so hard and nothing reclines. Like, I don't think you made this for me to be comfortable while watching. That's the only issue with my experience. It's got nothing to do with the movie. But I watched, oops, I might have hit the desk. Um, in IMAX because it was recommended, and I would recommend it to those who do not have auditory issues. It looks gorgeous, and you like hear everything, and it just it was fantastic, dude. Yeah, that's my answer. Okay, let's finish off our impressions. I think we've gotten a bit bogged down with our first. Um, well, that was your second, so I need to get to my second. I was with someone, as I've mentioned earlier, who hasn't been to the cinemas in years. They're not really a movie watcher. They're a theater girly, and they were super tired from a long day of work, like tired as fuck, and pre-apologize, say I might fall asleep in this film because it's been a hectic week and I'm here. I want to do this because I also want to watch. It looks incredible. I might fall asleep, so just apologies early. That motherfucker didn't sleep for shit. She was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We got out of the movie. She's like, oh my gosh. That was incredible. Like, so I think that says a lot about the film as well. This is not
Did you
a
fall asleep?
movie going person. Say again?
Did you fall asleep?
No, no. Fuck.
All
What's
right,
wrong
just
with you?
checking, guys, because Hlabi notoriously, especially when he's tired, he is
And
a
comfortable.
notorious fall asleeper. Yes, when he's tired and comfortable, he will fall asleep.
Yes.
So, like in the first 10 minutes of a movie or TV show, Hlabi's gone. So the fact that he didn't fall
10
asleep
minutes is
despite
an
how busy he's
exaggeration.
been,
No, 10 minutes is an
it still isn't.
exaggeration. It's like more like 30 minutes into the
It isn't.
movie. No. No, no, let's move
Mm.
on. I don't like this. What's your next impression? You've got something about Preacher Boy, which we kind of spoke about already,
I think,
but go ahead.
yeah, we've mostly spoken about all of my things. The next thing that I really want to like appreciate is the little costume hints that we had for the twins. Because of course we know it's Michael B. Jordan, one person being two people. And oh my God, the cinematography on that, like it's so complicated. The
Yeah.
way that they must have had to film that. They've had to,
Mm.
like the fact that they would have had to do multiple takes of a single scene and have to do it exactly the same each time.
Same time of day.
Insane.
Like,
Same time of days, yes, yes.
yeah, like it has to
I
look
believe they
one for one.
used, yes, I believe they used a programmable dolly to get the same camera movements. So there's a lot of like technical technique and then acting techniques. Apparently, they also used sound. So, like, they used beeps for when they had to roll up their cigarette and pass it between each other. So the entire thing had to be choreographed. It's not just Michael B. Jordan acting, but he's also technically dancing in that scene, which is insane. And his performance is beautiful. And this all is beside the point that I started talking about, and I was just talking about their costume because I mean, Michael B. Jordan did such a great job with the Smokestack twins. Like they are
Mm.
both very subtly different. Like there's no overacting. Like there's no Leo DiCaprio where he's like really going into the character. Like no, these characters could have potentially been the same person, but there's these little hints that each character has in their movements, in their delivery, in their motivations. Like um Stack is the softer twin. He has a bit more compassion for people. He's the one that's willing to accept the plantation money. Whereas Smoke, the harsher of the two, is potentially the older twin. He's clearly been protecting his brother. He probably killed their father to protect his brother. These formative things that really impact the character, and it's all hinted at in their costume as well. So the warmer yellow red tones are Stack. All of his
Mm.
little accessories are red. He's got that red hat. He's got like a red necktie. And then Smoke, the colder of the twins, his color is blue. And this also is like they kind of hint that the two of them went and caused historical issues between rival Irish and Italian gangs in Chicago at the time, because this is Prohibition era. And I think historically, real life, there was a fight between those two over missing shipments of alcohol. And so, like, this kind of gives you a little bit of a historical fiction nod. And there were a couple of theories that we'll talk about a bit later that hint at the fact that Smoke and Stack joined rival gangs,
Mm.
and this is how they played both sides and got money to burn essentially. But we'll talk about that later.
And the alcohol. Yeah. Yeah, and like Smokes, yeah, the costume thing with Smoke, that's a really great point. And how like his outfit is like just slightly more downtoned and formal. His hat isn't ostentatious like Stack. Stack is more ostentatious of the two. And also gives that sense of reckless. He is the reckless twin, um, and more emotional. And Smoke is just like, bro, I've been keeping this fool alive. So it also makes sense that Stack's the one who dies, or like is converted. Yeah, yeah. Okay. But let's quickly talk about Preacher Boy bringing the house down. And while that scene is incredible, it is one of my nitpicks.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right.
Mm.
Um, well, I mean, we've already talked about how incredible Miles Caton's voice is. I learned an actor's name, guys. this this is a very rare thing for me to do. Um, Also, this is his debut film. His voice is so beautiful. Oh my God. Um, I really liked the imagery of the juke joint and it being this kind of sacred space. And there's that kind of the weave that they're going through of him being called preacher boy first of all, and then him performing these delta blues so beautifully that it summons people's ancestors and people's successors, you know just like that idea of music being a religious experience and then literally bringing down the house. That was my absolute favorite scene. I think it's the internet's favorite scene. Everyone is referring to it as that scene currently. What is your nitpick though?
Um, Both of us, when watching the movie, had the same. Cause so like that whole thing of like it's like past and future, like when you like you said, rich this religious experience, and like a sense of
Yeah,
magic, and it brings up music of the past and music of the future, which is what draws the villain to
yeah.
them specifically. He might not have come across them at all if Miles hadn't done that. Um, it got too noisy for me, particularly when we went into the future. There's just too many sounds. I would have liked, I think, two or three less, maybe not three, like two or just two less of the musical influences. It got a bit. I think it was supposed to get chaotic, but it got a bit too chaotic for me. That's my only nitpick with it. Is I would have probably introduced one or two things less. Um, yeah, during that scene. That's it, really. Otherwise, fuck. And I think maybe because as Preacher Boy was doing it, it was just so amazing, and I was getting lost in it. And I think then just too much of that cacophony of sound just took me out of it a little bit. Not completely. I wasn't like, oh, it's ruined now, but I was just like, oh, yeah. That's it, really.
What I wonder if that was kind of the point, because it does have that like sickening effect on you. You were like you getting into it and then suddenly you're jilted out of it.
Hmm,
I wonder if
maybe.
that's on purpose.
And if that was on purpose, then I don't like that it was on purpose. Like, yeah.
Valid. Valid.
Yeah. Yeah, sweet. Um, do we want to move on? Is there anything left for
Yes, talk
you
to me
that
about
you
Remick, the villain.
right? So okay, just two things. This ties into Remake. I like that the film treated its audience with intelligence. Um,
Mm,
it trusted its audience, right? And I think it's the thing we've spoken about in the past of like you spoon feeding us. You This didn't do that. This was it trusted the peoples. I feel like Remix's motivations. There was something authentic about it beyond. Oh, I'm a vampire. I want to eat. You know. Um, and also the
mm,
type of vampire, this sort of thing of which I don't think is like explored enough. I think that like some mythologies and some like shows have called them ghouls. Is that each person who got bit became a ghoul of Remick. They became sort of hive mindish with him. And that sharing of memories. They all they all were like linked by blood and had each other's histories and memories within themselves, and like there was a sense of interconnectedness, which I think is key because Remick is a loner, right? He's alone, and that is, I think, at his core, he's afraid of death. He wants to live forever, but he misses home, and he misses his people, and that's why that's like I think his main motivation is I bite to connect. I bite to not be alone. Come live forever with me. I don't want to be alone. And he wants Miles specifically because Miles's music, I'm not Miles, sorry, that's the actor. Preacher Boy's music brings up like we saw the past and the future, and he saw his people, and he wants him specifically to perform for him and sing for him so he can see his people and relive the past, even if it's for a little while. And I think that was a great motivation. He wasn't just evil because vampires are evil, you know. Yes, he was evil, and it was a selfish, and it was a take thing. I want to take from you, but like at its core, I think is that Remick didn't want to be alone, and yeah, I thought that was poignant. Yeah, yeah. Also, how sunlight kills him, but almost seems like at each of its apexes. I don't know, because like when he arrives at the first couple's house, being chased by the Native American warriors who know what he is, the sun was up. You know, it wasn't that close to
Yeah,
setting.
but
Oh,
that
I suppose it
was
was close to setting.
yeah.
I suppose, but like when he arrived, maybe my memory's just not working that way. It just looked a bit brighter. I was like, because he was burning, you know. But yeah, so but like I don't know. I don't know.
I
It
assume
was
so.
interesting.
I don't know if you noticed, but Remick seemed to be the only one who had super speed. Of the vampires that he turned, he was the only one who
Hmm.
had supernatural powers beyond, just strength and biting.
Mm.
So I was also thinking about, why would he have been out during the day? Perhaps he could withstand the
For
sunlight a
time.
bit. I'm assuming
Mm.
that he ran through the maze,
The
which is quite
cornfield.
shady, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, yeah, that's a good
And
point.
I'm
Yeah, I missed
assuming that
that.
perhaps they chased him out of whatever his lair was and he ran through the corn. And the only patch of sunlight that he then had to traverse was the little, little sliver between the cornfield and
The
the
house.
porch shade.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm
Yeah,
also
he
assuming
was.
that
Yeah.
the steel, or maybe it was made. I assumed that the guitar was made of silver, which sounds really insane because why would you make a guitar out of silver? It's not going to give you the right sound. But the Sammy's guitar when he smashed him in the head,
Yes, that
that
decorative
really
part
seemed
was
to
silver.
injure him.
Yes.
Yeah, and maybe that sort of because he was already injured and pained. I think that's why maybe like direct sunlight
Right.
affected him so much.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, he did seem to be the only one super powered. I think because he's had so much blood. I don't think the others hadn't drunk anything. You know, they bit their
Hmm.
fellows to mate them,
He's
but no one was
also
really feasting.
he's also potentially over 1,300, 400 years old.
Wait, what? Over 1,300, 400 years old. What is that math, ma'am? What was that?
Yes, yes, 1,300 years old.
Oh, I heard it as 1,000, comma 3, 400 years old, and I was like, that's a weird scale because it didn't put and. It didn't say 1,300. He said 1,300, 400 years old. I'm like, what?
You problem.
Okay. Yeah, so he's
He's also like
potentially
I think that's this idea of him being like this really ancient being. He's had centuries to hone his powers to learn. He might be one of the original, who knows?
right. Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Which leads us
Let's.
nicely into theories, themes, and references.
Yes, ma'am. This is all you mostly.
This is all me. All right, so tell me, if anything, resonates with you.
Hmm.
In terms of themes, the theme of freedom was very interesting in this
Yeah.
film. There's so many different ways that they invoke the name of freedom, you know? Sammy says it. He wants to know what it's like to be free. Remick says it. something something freedom. Come join me, you'll taste freedom. The brothers their whole thing is they want to become rich. They want to be the next Al Capones in Louisiana. For them, that power is freedom.
Mm. I mean, the film ends on it as well, right? When Stack sees his little cousin, who's old now, and he walked in with his girlfriend. I forgot Haley Steinfeld's name, the character's name.
Mary.
Mary. Yeah, when Mary ran, um, he talks about he offers to turn Sammy, right? And Sammy's like, "Nah, I'm good." Also, because also I was like, Sammy's gonna be like an old vampire. It's gonna be like an old man vampire. I wouldn't want that either. There's no. I mean, we haven't. We can assume that he turned young again. I don't know. But Sammy's like, "Nah, I'm good." And he then, I think he asks his cousin, asks Stag. He tells him like, I still have nightmares about that day. Like every night, I wake up. But it was still the best day of my life. Like before all of that happened, that was the best day of my life. And I think he asks Stag, right, of like, yeah, was it for you? Like, how do you feel about the day? And he's just like, yeah, Stag just fucking was gorgeous. Cause he's like, yeah, that was the last time I saw the sun. He's like, he was like, yeah, that day was beautiful. That was the last time I saw the sun. That was the last time I saw my brother. That was the last time we were all together. And I got emotional as that was happening. And they were cutting to the twins standing and looking at the sun and the sky. And he was reminiscing about the freedom of that sky. Because that's what Smoke was saying. He was like, no, that's what I think Stack said to Smoke when Smoke was like, maybe we should, hold on this and whatnot. It was just like maybe we should delay it. Stuff. Something was going not necessarily wrong, but he didn't like it. He had an inkling of something early in the day, and Stack was like, "Nah, man, look at that blue sky, bro. That's freedom right there." And that's the last time he saw that blue sky that day. And so it's just so yeah, I think freedom is at its core, and it's painful also. That they didn't get it to a degree. None of them are free of that night. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Next, ma'am.
Mm-mm-mm. All right, so the presence of hoodoo
Hmm.
is very interesting and really, really beautiful. It was so nice to see the centralization. Was her name Grace?
I think it was Grace. Yeah.
Just the way that she was the basin of knowledge for
Hmm.
them. She was their strength. She was Smoke's protector throughout.
Right.
This man went to World War One. He went to work for fucking Al Capone. He was in the midst of all the gangster shit going on in Chicago, in the middle of Prohibition. He came back safely. His brother couldn't bite him. No, none of those vampires could bite him because he had a mojo bag around his neck.
Right. Yes. Yeah. They couldn't bite him. Yeah.
I mean, of all of those people, he was the only one who survived.
Right. He went out and like on his own. Well, other than Sammy, he
Yes,
went.
other than Sammy.
He went out. Yeah. He's the only one who survived that night. He got killed by the KKK, which he took them all out and went along with them. But he
Yeah,
was also like
yeah.
ready. His brother's gone. He wanted to go see
And
the
he
love of his
removed that
life and
mojo
his
bag.
baby. Yes. He probably would have
It only
survived.
happened after he removed it.
Well, no, he removed it after he was shot, no? He was sitting down. It was just about.
No, 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 he removed it before. they came back. He ripped it off his neck and he was setting up his guns.
Yes, yes. He was ready to go. He was like, I need to go see the love of my life and my baby. My baby who
Yeah,
didn't make
which is
it.
also so poignant when she says, "Put that cigarette away." You know, I don't want my baby to smell like smoke. So symbolic. Him putting the cigarette down, putting the persona of smoke down, going back to being Elias.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah. Yeah. It's
Oof.
fantastic. Fucking Ryan Coogler. Writer, director, producer, guys. This can we just I don't think we stressed that actually. Writer, director, producer. Like that was all him. That whole thing.
In the company of his wife, who he does mention and thank specifically, because she also
Hmm.
helped him with a lot of the like symbology. Symbology?
Yes.
Can I
Yeah,
English?
symbolism, symbology and symbolism,
Symbolism.
yes. No,
Thank you.
symbology as well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I think he's one of those directors who collaborates. He's an open collaborator. Okay, and then you've got something about Robert Johnson in
Hmm.
terms of themes and
So
theories and
the
references.
whole time I was watching this movie, because it's set in the American South, because we're doing Delta blues, because Miles Caton's voice, bruh. Ugh. First of all, he's called Sammy, so the whole time I was like, Sammy Davis Jr. That was on my mind. Um, but again, because we're setting this in the South, I don't know if you're familiar with the myth of Robert Johnson. He was one of the earliest Delta blues musicians to really become famous from playing the blues. But his career was extremely short lived, I think only about 7 years. And so there's this myth and this legend. Supernatural fans might be familiar with this actually, of him having sold his soul to the devil for his music. And the whole time, the image of Robert Johnson was just there in my mind while we were going through this. And this image of of Sammy, preacher boy, of him sort of, walking away from his father in the church repeatedly and then literally calling the devil without meaning to. Just that image of, selling your soul for music was present for me the whole time.
Yeah, and then also I think adding an element of choice, right? Because I think Sammy rejects that idea in the end because he goes home and he goes to the church and his father's like, put down that guitar. Like it's clear something's happened to him. He's got fucking claw marks on his face and he's got blood all over him. And it's clear that you saw the devil tonight. Put that guitar down. And Sammy goes, no, he actually clings to the guitar and I think fights against that idea because I think music can be both, right? And I think he was like, no, I'm going to choose for this to bring light. Um, it was unintentional that I brought the devil. I can't use it and do it to. I survived this for a reason, type of thing. Of like, I survived the devil. I didn't sell my soul to him. I survived him, and this is what I'm
Mm.
meant to do.
Another symbol of freedom for Sammy. Guitar, music.
Yeah, exactly. Feels free when playing. Exactly. Um, you've got something about biblical referencing.
Cool referencing. Also, I just want to say that the actor who plays older Sammy is the blues legend Buddy Guy.
Yes, full
Just
on
just
legend.
putting it out there.
Yeah.
Full on legend. So biblical referencing. So yes, this idea of sort of the summoning the devil, selling your soul for music, the idea of music being freedom. There's a bit of biblical referencing in everybody's names.
Hmm.
I am not very clued up about biblical referencing. I know sort of the basics, in that, well, Sammy is short for Samuel, who, what was he? He was supposed to have been the guy who smote Saul of the Israelites. Was that not but one of the most famous English is failing me now. One of the more prominent people who align themselves with demons, with the devil.
I don't know, man. I'm not. I'm not too familiar with the story of Samuel.
That help, Hlabi. What is the
Yeah,
point of your upbringing if not to use it for mythological reasons?
no comment. How dare you? Sure, sure. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Samuel. Like I know this, like it's been a while. Okay, that story wasn't in all the sermons all the time. So like a popular one. Please move on. Elijah and Elias. Gosh,
Yes.
he's insulting
Elijah
me
and
here.
Elias, actually the exact same name, just in different languages.
Oh, yeah, that's dope.
Um, Elijah was one of the prophets as well. He was from the time of Moses.
Hmm.
I believe
That one
Elijah
I
is
remember.
responsible for. Oh, all right, go on.
No, I don't. Go on. I was just being spiteful.
Sat, I was ready for my Sunday school.
Hey,
It
we're
is
running
Sunday
out of
morning right
time.
now.
Running out of time here. Go. Going over time. Continue. Gosh.
Elijah is supposed to have had a prophecy about one of the kings being viciously murdered. Is that right?
I don't know. Let me tell
Hlabi doesn't
look.
know. All
Let me
right.
tell you my truth here. My mom told
Yes.
me when I was like 11. She's like, "Do you want to go to church?" I was like, "Nope." She's like, "Okay," because my mom was like, "Church is boring." She was bored by church. She was like, "Yeah, I get it. You're a kid. This is boring. The way the preaching happens or whatnot is boring. I get it." You know. So as long as I was respectful and attentive and attended masses when I needed to attend masses, you know, my mom was like, "You're all good, my guy. As long as you're not a terrible person and you hit up Sunday school once in a while and you do mass once in a while, it's all copacetic." So I don't know all the stories. I feel like I know the major ones, like the core ones. Yeah.
Okay, so Smoke's real name was Elijah, but in the Bible, Elijah is the person who tells King Ahab that his entire kingdom will reject his authority and that Jezebel will be eaten by dogs. A little bit of the symbolism, because Mary is one of the first of them to be turned.
Yes.
She was literally eaten
Yeah,
by
she is the first
Remick. Yeah.
yeah, she's the first of them. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's great symbolism. Yeah, fuck. That's cool. Freaking Ryan Coogler. Um, and then let's wind down. What's the Shining reference that you're talking about? You're muted.
I said I nearly forgot about the Shining reference. So the scene after Stack is bitten by Mary after they, lock him up in the pantry.
Oh yes, yes.
Yes, that
At the
knife that
door.
comes through. Yes,
Yes.
is a Shining reference. There's also like a little camera that's placed underneath him, as it
Mm-hmm.
was placed beneath Johnny. Is that the main character's name?
Yes.
Here's
Yes.
Johnny.
Yeah.
So one of his yeah, just that Shining reference was really cool. I feel like it's not a real horror if you don't make a Stanley Kubrick reference. And then we have it. There we have it, you guys.
Yeah. 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 That's true. That was cool. Fuck, that scene was dope. Because also, it's one of those things that was in the trailer. And so a lot of people were like, oh, we know that Haley Steinfeld becomes a vampire. We know that one of the Michael B. Jordans becomes a vampire. Oh, it's giving too much away. And it's like, no,
No.
no, that wasn't the point of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Which
freaking
is
cool.
really great.
I just have one theme that I just want to mention, just briefly. I was talking about it earlier, right? Loneliness and whatnot. Community. The juke joint is about community. having a place for for an indentured people to commune together. Um, you also see the division in communities. You see with the Asian family. I forgot. I don't remember their names. Where they owned the shops, and they owned the shops on each side of the street, the white side and the black side. Um, so that sense of divide in the community. How the KKK would historically is what they would do. They would not let communities thrive. So like they sold the place to them, took their money to then go and would go later and kill them, because who are you to own and have a sense of community, have a sense of a place for you. um, we see community in the two brothers and how they are with each other, and Smoke letting Stack live. He couldn't kill his brother. He could not break that sense of that community. And he was like, "Get the fuck out of here and never touch Sammy, who is family." you know, you leave him alone. And he was like, cool. Um, yeah, just the community's woven into this thread of this film, I think, as a theme throughout as well. Yeah, just wanted to end on that. Okay. We're now done, dude. We're at the end of this fantastic movie. Our last thing is the fee rating. So this, I think, is our first rating on YouTube's. So for those who are unfamiliar, the fee rating is out of 5. Instead of stars, it's fears. Um, she splits herself into 5 and goes and lives her life, right? And it's like this whole mutant thing of she has memories of all those versions of herself's experience, and they all come back within her, and she can experience anything. So she can have one go and study to be an engineer, she can have one go and study medicine, and she'd come back and have all that knowledge. Be like, this fear right now knows medicine and engineering. And that is just a little game we play. And so, how many times essentially would you watch this film, Fear?
Ant-Man,
Okay,
I would watch it six
she
times.
mutates and splits herself into 6. So the fee rating out of 5, the result is 6. It's 6 stars out of 5. It's 6 fears out of 5. Wow. Wow.
I know.
I do need to go
For
see it
the
again.
for yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. 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 Have you
Um,
seen it again?
no, like I said, I don't enjoy the cinema. I enjoyed watching it, but I will definitely it'll be one of those films that watch at home
Yeah, you're gonna wait for it to be.
once a
Yeah.
year. Yeah. Um, five out of five or 6 out of 5 fee rating because obviously, God, we have two Michael B. Jordans on screen at the same time.
His best performance. His best
His
performance.
best performances.
Performances, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Like that dude
Yes.
should and can be nominated for best acting, best supporting actor. Because like Stack was a supporting, Smoke was, I feel, was like the main character of the two. Um, yeah, he was two different people, guys. And we've seen it in the past where people play multiple characters, but there's a sense of like something outlandish, right? If you think Eddie Murphy, they're very caricatured when he's doing that. If you think of that freaky dude who was in the social network, and he was playing twins, and there wasn't much difference between the twins. It was very much this thing of we're twins, we're the same person. We finished other sentences, nah, nah, nah. They were kind of the same person, right? Our whole idea of interconnected twins. This was two different people with same energies. So they still had to do the twin thing, but they were two different personalities. And he was playing them often side by side. Like on the screen, we're watching, they're next to each other, and you don't think that's Michael B. Jordan, right? You don't think that's the same, but it's two different people next to each other. And you're just like, shit. Yeah. So yeah, fantastic performance by everyone as well. The women in this film were powerhouses. They were sensual, they were capable, They were frustrating. You think of again the Asian lady who couldn't handle it anymore, and she fucking invited the vampires in, and I was like, fucking hell. But of course, the movie does need to go forward, and it's just like, oh my god. But like, yeah, they were sexy. They were gorgeous. Fucking Miles's performance. He's got that thing of a unique voice. You know, he's got that going for him. And yeah, this was an A+ movie. Yeah, yeah. Fuck, fuck. Oh, did I mention my other nitpick? What was my second one? I think I had a second one. It's not even really a nit. It was just smoke coming out of nowhere to kill Remick. I was like, ah. I was like, that's some movie shit. Which show maybe I was like so focused on Sammy. But I was like, it's a bit of movie shit there. But we let it pass. It's not an actual pick. I just noticed it. I was like, okay, smoke.
Some theories of how that happened because I was also like, oh, where did he come from? Think it's because he has a moment where he's like, I can't kill my brother. He
Yes.
lets his brother live.
Hmm.
I'm assuming that because they're all interconnected, Stack was like, go help Sammy. Like,
Sure,
go now. He needs you.
but
Go
then,
now.
but then, wouldn't they know that he's coming because he had that thought? Because they're all interconnected.
Potentially, but they've all got like the headache going on, right?
Oh, true. True, true, true. Okay, fair, fair. Okay, there we go, there we go. Because he also ran through them. Because he also had to run past the vampires. You
Yeah.
know. To okay, I suppose you're because yeah, they did all. Did they all scream when? Yeah, they all screamed when the guitar was in their head. There we go, nitpick erased. There we go. Yeah, fucking, they thought of it all. Continuity. All right, Fee. Thank you for this quality check. It was so great to do this. We wanted to keep it 40 minutes. I think it's an hour. Wop wop. It's a great movie. So it is what it is. And I will see you next time for Spinners, because that's how
Yeah.
time works. Woo. Sweet. Peace and chicken grease, Fee. Say bye.
Bye. Yes, I need to tell you about a theory about these fucking smokestacks.
Okay, I'm still
Um,
recording. I'm going to keep this in. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So the theory was that they joined rival gangs
Yeah.
in Chicago.
Yes, you said
Um,
earlier.
and they stole from the other gang, but they pretended to be the same person
Hmm.
so that when the theft happened, that person was present and accounted for, so nobody suspected them.
Right. No one knows about the smokestack twins, but as
Yeah,
I think, like Grace said, they will figure it out. Like word will get out,
yes,
particularly if you become big here in
yeah,
Louisiana, that there are
yeah,
smokestack twins. Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh, that's dope.
I
That's
mean,
dope.
it
I
was
also
also
like,
never going to happen because there was no money in that community. Like, they would have been broke within 2 months.
yeah, as Smoke said.
Yeah.